Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Movies to Start with Vowels Month. And we got a really good comedy from the 80s. I'm going to review both of these. First, the first one. And it is a 80s classic spoof done by the Zucker brothers, and that is Airplane, the very first one. The second one I'll probably review next time. Now, I saw this movie like a couple years ago, I think on cable, and it surprised me that it's a PG movie and they got away with a lot of stuff because you have like you have tits in the movie, they curse in the film, and also there's a lot of like sexual references and drug references. The movie like this would not be PG now, it would be R or maybe a PG-13, but it's got a great cast, a lot of people that are no longer with us. You got Leslie Nielsen, and you got Robert Hayes. No, Robert Hayes is still with us. Julie Haggerty is still with us. Who else? There's a lot of. I think there's this old man. I think from like a bunch of disaster movies. I gotta check. Hold on. But this movie is a lot of fun. Like it's one of the funniest spoofs I've ever seen, and it's really short. Like it keeps the comedy at a low running time. It's 87 minutes long, so it was a huge hit. Like people didn't see it coming. They were like, "Oh, this movie should be this movie's probably gonna be so bad." I'm like, no, it spoofs all the 70s and disaster films, kind of, and it has cliche, dialogue, but it's really, really funny. Let me check the rest of the cast. Airplane movie cast. Here it is. I wanted to just check. I don't want to be here and not know the names of the actors. But Robert Hayes is a good lead. He's basically he was an alcoholic and he was afraid to fly a plane because the last time he had a bad experience with it. Here's the rest of the cast. Yeah, it was 1980 on the dot. You have Jim Abrams, who's not J.J. Abrams, so don't worry, it's not him. You got Lloyd Bridges, who's also no longer with us. He was the father of Jeff Bridges and Bo Bridges. You have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's very old now. You had Peter Graves. He plays the captain. You got Robert Stack, Captain Rex. You got Lorna Patterson as Randy, Steven Stucker, and there's a lot of people in the movie. It's a sequel that has more cameos, but it's a fun movie. Like the jokes still land. Like don't hit. I said, "Don't call me Shirley." That's funny. The scene where the lady's panicking and they're shaking her. That's funny. There's scenes. That inflatable doll that's riding the plane. Yeah, that's fun. That's a funny scene, and they play it straight. Like nobody's like winking at the camera. It's just all subtle humor. Like the comedy's in the background basically, but it's done in a funny way. And basically, the plot is, Robert Stack's character is gonna fly a plane, with a bunch of people that he doesn't know, and basically, the plane there's some complications because planes have like turbulence and all that and bad weather. And yeah, let me just read the synopsis here too. And he meets up with his former boo, Julie Haggerty, who's got one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. She has a very sweet motherly voice, and I wish more actresses today had voices like that. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to beat a dead horse this year. Yeah, basically, yeah. Let's see here. Um, the plot here it is. It tells the story of an intermix between several cutaway scenes, like in Family Guy, comedic scenes, and visual and running gags. Yeah. Ex-fighter pilot Ted Stryker, that's Robert Hayes, is traumatized war veteran turned taxi driver due to his pathological fear of flying and drinking problem, but he doesn't drink in the movie that much. Being unable to take a drink without splashing it on his face, he has to be unable to hold a responsible job. His wartime friend Elaine Dickinson, that's Julie Haggerty, now a flight attendant, leaves him before boarding her assigned flight from LA to Chicago. Ted drops everything and buys a ticket on the same flight to win her back. See, some men will do crazy things when they're in love. And however, she still continues to reject them. Of course, some women are plain hard to get, let's face it. After the in-flight meal is served, several of the passengers and the flight crew fall ill. Yeah, because something had happened. That there was food poisoning. I know I had that once, and it was horrible. Elaine contacts the Chicago Control Tower for help and is instructed by Tower Supervisor Steve McCrowski, Lloyd Bridges, and a large inflatable pilot doll named Otto. Yeah. I look back at films like this and I'm like, why aren't comedies this funny now? I would take both of these movies over Snatched or Ride Along 1 or 2 or freaking the Pitch Perfect movies or I know that's more of like a musical drama, but you know what I mean. Like the comedies from now are just not funny. That's why 90% of them I avoid. Ted is unable to land a plane, damaging the landing gears, but with only minor injuries to the passengers. Rescue vehicles arrive to load the plane. Expressed by Ted's display of courage, Elaine embraces and kisses him. I told you, some women are just plain hard to get. And there's a lot of visual gags. Like there's a scene ripping off, not ripping off, it's satirizing Saturday Night Fever, where instead of him lifting a girl up, she's lifting him up. It's pretty funny. It's a lighthearted comedy. It's not mean spirited. This did it better than Soul Plane because that was just a rip off of this, a ghetto version of Airplane with bad drug references and sex jokes and a horrible cast because you have Sofia Vergara and Kevin Hart. Yeah, that's why I haven't watched it yet because they annoy the piss out of me. Here, the cast is really good. They're in on the joke. They're funny. There's a lot of actors we haven't seen, that are no longer with us that I miss so much, and it still holds up. This, if you want a comedy from 1980 that's hilarious, that's 28 years old this year in the summer. It's going to be 28 years old. It's still hilarious, and even the sequel I think is very underrated. I'll talk about that one in the next one. But Airplane is good. It's a good movie. I was very, very surprised. This double bill was definitely worth it. I bought it last year in 2016, right after Christmas, and I was like, it's worth it. These movies are both funny, and they've aged well, like a fine wine, not like aged milk, which is sour and tastes awful. But yeah, the movie's very, very fun. Like, if you guys, the Nerd Pack, if you haven't seen this, I know this is before your time. This is before my time. I wasn't even around in 1980. But it's funny. It's definitely better than any comedies you saw last year that were horrible. Trust me, this is a good one. This and its underrated sequel, which critics are like, it's tasteless, it's not funny, it's cliche, it's this and that. No, see the Hangover sequels, and you'll see bad sequels, or uh, I don't know, Dumb and Dumber, or freaking I don't even know what else to say. Ride Along 2, because some of these comedies can't do sequels right nowadays most of the time, except for like 21 Jump Street and Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, but that was ages ago. But anyway, Airplane is a good one. The letter A. It gets almost an A grade from me because it's really good. So, and it holds up. Problems. Sometimes the film feels a little short, not long, and some of the jokes like I didn't get. Like there's a joke with like a donkey or a horse or something. I'm like, that they use that same joke in like Clerks 2, which I'm like, animal gags don't really make me laugh that much. But it's still, the rest of it makes me laugh, and it still holds up. So thanks, guys, for watching. Keep watching my videos. I'm glad you guys are responding well to my videos this year. I'm going to go full-blown. I'm not taking 3 weeks off. I'm going to give you videos as much as possible, a lot of content, so you guys can laugh, be entertained. That's what I'm here for. Not here to complain and bitch and moan like everybody else. I'm here to entertain my fans, my subscribers, my nerd pack friends, my Facebook friends, everybody that watches. Just keep up all the good work that I did last year. So see you guys in the next review.